So here we have it, our top 5 players in the NBA out of our top 20. We got Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, and Luka Doncic. Now, before we get into explaining all these things, I just want to say we already, just going 1 through 5, have not taken this lightly. These are tough decisions, but we're the sound. And we are responsible for delivering the most truthful, and
Factual.
potent, factual, that's a good way to put it, NBA information. And this is what we came up with. So, number one, Nikola Jokic, pretty easy one. Obviously, just won the finals MVP,
He
was the
earned it.
best player in the entire playoffs. He earned it. And we said that this is what it was going to take for him to earn it, was
Yep.
to be the best player on a championship or at least a legitimate contending team. I mean, he far and away proved that. 30, 14, and 7 in the NBA Finals was very close to averaging a triple-double. The question now for Jokic is how long can he hold it?
Yep.
As we just mentioned before we started, this list can change at any point in time throughout the season. I think Giannis can very easily snatch it up, but for the time being, Nikola Jokic has very obviously earned the number one spot.
Until he won, I still had my hand on the crown, and I wasn't letting that SOB go because
Yep.
I didn't want to do it, but he earned it.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Now, start of the season could come around, and that could change. So
Number 2, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, a first-round exit, yes, but losing to the Eastern Conference champion, how much value does that hold to you? There is no doubt, I don't think, that he is the best two-way player in the NBA. I don't think there's any doubt that he had a serious argument for winning the MVP this past season over Embiid. And I mentioned you, Steve, earlier. Giannis had made a post on social media about coming back hungry and ready for this upcoming season. I think he's going to average 40 points a game. I think this is going to be an unprecedented Giannis run. I think we see them probably back in the finals. Now, it's not my official prediction. We're going to make that later. But I think Giannis is a clear-cut, firm second best player in the league. Easily could be number one this coming season.
you know how I feel about Giannis. Giannis is a perennial all time. You know, he's top 30 all time. He's a guy, right? I'm
Yeah,
correct on that, right?
top
Yeah.
30 all time. Yeah.
30. Yeah. You know, Giannis is a guy who, I mean, we had to fight tooth and nail not to keep him at number one at one point in time
Yeah.
before Jokic won. So, I mean,
Yeah.
he is a firm number 2.
Our number 3, Steph Curry. Look, I can already hear people watching this video in the comments yelling at us.
Sixers
And
fans are losing their mind
listen,
already.
listen. 27, 5, and 6 in the playoffs for Steph Curry. A 30-point triple-double in the Lakers series for Steph Curry. Playing some of the best basketball of his life. Last 2 seasons has been in MVP conversations.
Yep.
And there is no doubt that Steph has a direct, clear-cut impact on winning basketball. I think that very much matters. Embiid has just unfortunately proven time and time again that he just lacks that gene, or whatever you want to call it, that these other guys have.
Yeah.
It's very controversial, and I understand Embiid just won the MVP, first team All-NBA, all that good stuff. Steph can come in next season and blow it, and Embiid can start popping off, and that's fine. We'll move him at that time. But right now, as we sit, I gotta say Steph Curry's better than Embiid, and he sits at number 3.
And here's what I'll say to all the people that are saying, "Oh, but Joel Embiid, blah, blah, blah." All right, listen. You're talking to a diehard Sixers fan, and you're talking to somebody who loves Joel Embiid and was really fighting for him. And I'm the one that me and Cam were getting ready to keep him at 3 just because. And I said, "No, Cam, it's okay. We can move him to 4." Like Joel Embiid, yeah, okay. If you score 33 straight 30-point games in the playoffs, doesn't that matter? Yes, it matters. But when you're doing it in games that aren't closeout games or aren't must-win games, no, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Like, because that just like it's almost like a participation trophy. Like, here, you played really, really well, but you guys didn't win. But I'll
Yeah.
still give you your flowers. No, Joel Embiid's at 4.
And we've also said that in the postseason is where things are proven and where
Yeah.
with if the decisions we made during the regular season are correct or not. And Steph Curry had a really good regular season and a arguably better postseason than Embiid. It's just how much does that matter?
Embiid didn't play bad. He just what we all expected him to do, he was nothing close to.
Yeah. So we got Steph Curry number 3, and we kind of already have been talking about it. Joel Embiid sitting at number 4. All the reasons we mentioned. Now, obviously, just is the league MVP, as I mentioned, first team All NBA at the starting center spot. It was not an easy choice bumping Embiid down to 4. It's just what's been happening in the playoffs, but we can't use that against him and act like his regular season did not happen. We can't act like, he was one of the best scorers, the clear cut. Now, we said Jokic in the regular season was third on my MVP list. Embiid was the better two-way player. He was the best center in the NBA. Now, that is probably not true anymore. And Embiid had been doing things at his size and position that we hadn't seen for a long time, and he was unstoppable at one point in that season. So we can't act like all those things didn't happen just because his playoff performances last season wasn't great. So
Yep.
we have Embiid at a hard number 4.
Oh yeah, hard 4.
Now I'll say this: he is on the fringe of being
not
a
even
top
being
5
on.
player. Yeah, only because I like if consistently proving you're not a winner to me, like I'm kind of over you at that point. Like,
All right, Daryl Morey, listen very closely. You talk to Pat Riley. Let me say something real quick. Daryl Morey, listen real close, bud. All right, you want to keep Embiid on this list? You go get Damian Lillard. Listen, Sixers fans, I understand. But Joel Embiid is a top 5 player in the NBA. And if we want to win a championship with Joel Embiid, the only way we're going to do that is if you, Daryl Morey, go out and get this man some help. I want to keep him on this list the whole season. I'd like to see him elevate. But until you get him some help or until you find – now maybe Nick Nurse can unlock Joel Embiid's potential in the playoffs and he creates this monster. But until that happens, come on.
and number 5, we have Luka Doncic. Now,
This was hard.
This was hard because we had some other people at 5. We were wondering maybe if Luka should be there, but 32, 9, and 8 in the regular season, you can't necessarily say that missing the playoffs was his fault. I mean, we mentioned earlier Kyrie dropping them 6 spots for what they had to give up to get him. They clearly didn't get any better yet, but that really had nothing to do with Luka. There have been talks that he's one of the greatest playoff performers already. Now, we're not buying into that, but the fact that those conversations are happening speaks a lot to who he is. It seems disrespectful to not have Luka as a top 5 player, and he might be the single most valuable player in the league because of his age, because of his team presence, and because of just literally what he can do on the basketball court. So for all those reasons, we have Luka at number 5.
Yeah, I'm just briefly looking up. I'm pretty sure that against the Clippers, Luka Doncic had multiple 30-point triple doubles
Probably.
in that one series. I think he even had a 40-point triple double in that series against them. And Luka Doncic is a guy that and you just gave me a moment of clarity actually about with something you just said. Luka Doncic has already proven that in the playoffs he can elevate.
Mm-hmm.
And Embiid has already proven in the playoffs that he can't. It's bad that he didn't make it this year, but I can't say it's not all his fault. Now he is not one of the greatest playoff performers ever.
No.
Stop sipping that Kool-Aid, Nick Wright. Calm down.
People got him top 30 already, bro.
There is a name not on this list that you and me were really, really like. Do we live in a world where Kevin Durant is not top 5? And that is, I'm still
tough.
like when I woke up this morning and we said we were doing this list, and I remembered that we didn't have Kevin Durant top 5.
It's very tough.
I had an internal struggle.
It's very, very tough. I think, but just because Durant missed such a chunk of the season with his injury. Now again, Durant was another one like Steph who had been playing some of the best basketball of his life this season. but it's not fair to the other guys who played more. Spoiler alert, we got Durant at 6, but I think having him any lower than 6 is inherently and blatantly incorrect.
No, yeah, Kevin Durant is a firm 6. Like
I got no
there's
problem with Kevin Durant being in the top 5. I will listen to a Kevin Durant top 5 argument. I just don't know who you're taking out. Now, again, like we said, this list is fluid, can change at any point in time. So we can come out the next season and Durant could be 3. You know what I mean? Like this is not set in stone.
I want our viewers to know me and Cam spent an hour and 50 minutes last night on the phone trying to figure out if Luka, that like a large portion of that phone call was this list. Like,
And
and it
even we
was,
spent time this morning on the phone
and,
figuring it out again.
and it was all 3 through 5, 3, 4, and 5. 1 and 2 were cemented. 3, 4, and 5. It took us that long to figure. So please understand, we didn't make these decisions lightly.
No.
Like this was a very thought out and like there was work put into this list.
And you said this to me earlier, and it's something that's really true. We are the sound, so we need to be the ones that make the tough decisions and just go off of the facts and no bias. And that's what we did. And this is what we came up with. Players 1 through 5 of our top 20 NBA player list. Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, and Luka Doncic. There you have it.
First series of our top 20 players done. That's
6 through 10.
If you don't agree with us, let us know.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Please, if there's ever something we say that you guys are just blatantly wrong, we would love to A, host you on our show and discuss it and debate it, or B, just let us know why. And maybe one of these series will actually do a little response segment. People don't agree, and we'll come on and tell you why you sleep with your dad. Because who are we, Cam?
The sound.
And what do we do? Provide
intelligent and cogent sports analysis.
So anybody who doesn't agree with what we say, please let us know. We're not going to be mean. We might tell you sleep with your dad and you're wrong, but that's the worst that you're going to get from us.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, top 5 players in the league.
Listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.